Good morning guys, welcome back to a brand new video. This morning I woke up, looked out the window, saw the blue sky and felt incredibly inspired. So I'm gonna head up the mountain and do some more work on the cabin.
Okay, mic check, let's go. Our love of small spaces started when we moved into a van in 2014. We travelled extensively through the Nordics, hiking in remote areas and staying in small cabins along the way. These cabins were tiny. They didn't need to be grand as they were designed to provide shelter from the elements. These small shelters can be life-saving, especially in areas of complete wilderness with extremely changeable weather conditions. We've been in areas where the only way out is a multi-day hike and have sought refuge from snowstorms and torrential rain in these cabins. The cabins are simple, they don't need much. Just a place to cook with your camp stove and a wooden bench where you can rest. After the fire on our mountainside homestead, we've got a lot of logging and forestry work to undertake. It's a long way from anywhere, so the need to store equipment, fuel, and a space to rest and escape the elements is needed. It's also a fun little building project and a challenge as everything needs to be hiked in. Whilst we have a lot of maintenance and mundane tasks that we need to do, it's important to also enjoy life too, which is why we're building this tiny remote cabin.
I thought it was going to be a much harder process getting this 2.5 metre sheetwood on the UTV and up the mountain, but actually it fits really nicely. You can see though that it sticks out either side of the UTV quite far, so I just have to be careful when I'm on the dirt tracks not to actually wipe out the sheetwood before I make it to the top.
It just gets better, better with you. We go together, sticking like glue. We'll do whatever, do what we do. And it just gets better, better with you. We'll go on forever, birds of a feather. It's getting better, it's getting better, better than you. It's getting better, it's getting better, keeps getting better with you.
So I made it with the UTV perfectly fine, as I thought I would. These sheets really weren't a problem. I scraped a few places through some bushes, but nothing major. And then getting through the actual gate where I park up before I have to hike the materials to the cabin spot was a little bit tight, but I managed it. And now all I need to do is carry them to the actual location of the cabin. So on this sheet of OSB, you'll probably be able to see that red strap. I've made a little handle to try and make it easier for me to actually carry this. I'm still 50-50 on whether I'm going to be able to get it there on my own, but let's give it a go.
Put the pickup into drive, chase the dawn, burn the light, let's go. Take the change from our savings jar, grab the Gibson, ditch the phone, let's roll. Maybe where we're going there are no exit signs. Even if the road is all we know, I'll be home to you, home to you. I'll be home to you, home to you.
One sheet of OSB down, one to go. It's incredibly hard to get too many shots because every time I get a different angle I have to put the sheet down, go back, get the camera, reset the angle, and then lift the sheet up. And every time you lift the sheet up, it's like you lose a bar of energy. And that is why I'm doing this first today, because I'm fresh. Later on I probably wouldn't have the strength. But yeah, let's get the next one up there and get cracking. The OSB made it. I need to sit down. That actually was so rewarding to get these big sheets up here. Stoked about that. I've got a cabin floor.
Watch the world fade out of view, darling, all I wanna see is you. Anywhere you wanna go, feels like home whenever I'm with you. Maybe where we go and all we'll need are these big dreams. And even though tomorrow is unknown, I'll be home to you, home to you. I'll be home to you, home to you.
The worst thing with any project involving wood is always like the sanding, the preparation and the treating of the wood, and that's what I've just done. I've just treated the wood. Check this out. So here is the deck. It's looking really nice, not that you're going to see it, but I went for a wood treatment to protect it from the elements, which is always handy, and I went for castagna, so turns it this lovely brown colour. And now it's time to get the boards on the top of it. Squarespace is a fantastic all-in-one online platform which enables you to build and create your very own website. We use Squarespace as a space for us to have our social media accounts, blog, shop, and even a newsletter all in one place. You can start out by choosing one of the many different templates for the base of your website in a number of themes. The themes are all customizable, so you can change the color, font, layout, and so much more to make the website perfect for you.
If you're stuck or have any questions, then you'll be happy to hear Squarespace has an award-winning customer support with 24/7 email, live chat support, a community forum, webinars, and so much more.
We highly recommend Squarespace and are so happy that we're able to give you a 14-day free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain using code indieprojects or by clicking the link in our description. Good morning. So it is the next morning and I'm just hooking up the trailer because I'm going to go to the off-grid property and pick up some windows and doors that I have that I've been collecting for so long because I might use them for something, and now I have a use for them for the cabin. So I'm gonna go and see what I've got. I can't quite remember exactly what I have there, but I know there's some gems. So I'm gonna take you along to the off-grid property and let's see what we can find. So I have just arrived at the off-grid property, which means I need to hunt out these windows and doors that I'm going to use for the cabin build. How many of you guys remember this place? I don't know if you can see that, but up there's a kite just hovering above the house. The bird that is, not just like a random person flying a kite on my property. So this here is the first port of call. Under this is lots of windows. These aren't the ones I'm necessarily going to use, but I want to explore because I remember there being a really nice big square, I think it might be double glazed window. This is the one on top, I think. It's not cracked, so that's a good start. I was thinking it was cracked. I think the bottom one is cracked. I can just see through that pane just there that the bottom one is cracked, but two of them look all right. Let me explore. So they're actually in a lot worse condition than I ever remember them to be in. They're pretty much falling apart, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a goer or not. The one behind here, it's got condensation in the middle between the two single glazed panels. So that's a definite no for that one, because the last thing I want is the view out the window fogging up. But this one is actually in okay condition, so I'm going to put this on the maybe list. Some people might call me a hoarder, but getting stuff in Portugal secondhand is really quite difficult. So whenever I see a deal, I try and snap it up because you just never know when you might need it. And I need some windows and doors, and I definitely have some better ones further up the property, so I'm going to go and look at them. They are single glaze, I believe, and aluminium, so they'll last forever. So I've got a little bit of a problem. This is one of the windows I want to take, and I've just opened up all of the windows because I don't know if you can see that, but there is wasps absolutely everywhere. Look at that. Can you see that? I'm just going to step back and try and get them to vacate. So it took me way longer than expected to go through all of the windows and doors and find what I actually want, because they were all in bits. The frames were separate. Some of them were without hinges, so I had to go and find hinges. And then I had the wasps in the frame, so I had to get rid of the wasps. Luckily they were quite dormant, so it wasn't too bad, but I'm losing light because the sun has just gone down. So this is what I've gone for. Right here you can see this is going to be the door, and this is the smallest door I've ever seen. I actually can't fit through it without bending down, but that's fine. It's a tiny cabin. And then I've got this really nice window that might go on the dormer if I create a dormer. And then here I have this really nice picture window that is probably going to go on the side. And then I'm thinking this window can go at the front because it's the most clear. I did want one that was just a really big window with just one piece of glass, but I don't have that, so I'm probably going to have to just settle for this window, but it's good enough. And then these windows, just in case I can fit them in. Obviously I don't want to go crazy with windows, but I also want to create the inside space to feel like you're almost outside, and the views are amazing. So I just need to load these up now into the back of the trailer without smashing them on the way home. I've got an hour and a half to get back to Miracle Mountain.
Hold tight when we don't know where we're going. When the sky is blue as oceans, slowly turns to gray. Hold tight when the night comes to greet us, and a wild heart's a weekend, and we miss the glory days. I'll be home to you, home to you. I'll be home to you, home to you.
So that is it. They are all loaded up, as you can see behind me. And let's pray they make it to Miracle Mountain in one piece and none of them are smashed, because I do have to do some off-roading to get there. So let's find out. Slow and steady wins the race. So it's the next day and I am back at Miracle Mountain with the windows and doors, and look who's just greeted us. Ginjey Bear, always wanting the stomach rub. She's so cute. This is what I'm dealing with, a completely smashed glass door. That is very frustrating because that is the only full glass door that I had, which is a shame. It's got the key, it opened, it was all in perfect order. It would have been really good because it was actually really quite small. I think it's about 1.7 meters high, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. The thing is though, everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? So I obviously wasn't meant to use this door for some reason, and actually had to go back to the off-grid place and pick up another door that I wasn't as keen on as the full glass door, but I think it will work perfectly fine. And like I said, in this project I have to use what I've got, but it made me change my mind on some of the windows that I'm going to use, so I'll show you them in a minute. But this trailer is not very good at all for carrying glass windows and doors. I wouldn't recommend it. It bounces around all over the place, but unfortunately I'm still waiting for a part from a bigger trailer that's a lot more stable. Until I can fix that, I can't use it, so this will have to do. So these are the windows that I think I'm going to use on the front and the side of the cabin now. I was put off to begin with because I thought that the windows were double glazed, but they're not. They're two single glaze windows put together, and that was causing the fogging on the inside. So the fact that these are single glaze, I can clean these up really nicely. They obviously need resealing, sanding back, and a lick of paint, but these are going to look beautiful, and it doesn't have any lines or anything. It's just a nice clear view out over the mountain, and that is exactly what I wanted. Basically, these two windows were just hinged together on one side, so you could open them up somehow. I'm not really sure how it worked, but it was a little bit strange. But these will work much better as single windows. Super happy with them, and they were free. And this right here was the other door that I had left over. I'm quite happy with that. It's not full glass, but actually I think it will work really nicely, especially if I put another one of this kind of aluminium brown style windows next to it, it should really finish that entrance to the cabin nicely. So I've heard reports that it has been snowing at the top of the mountain, so I thought I'd go for a little drive, check it out, see what the ski resort's saying, see if it's opened up and the chairlifts are working and all of that business. And I thought I'd bring you guys along with me. I was just driving along this road and I noticed something, so I've just parked up down there. And I don't know if you can see this. Just there, there's a massive boulder and it looks like someone's built onto the side of it, so I'm gonna go check it out. I don't know if you can hear on camera, but all I can hear is the gushing sound of the river in the distance. Absolutely beautiful. And then look at this massive kind of rock garden of boulders on the side of this mountain. And this just here was clearly a dwelling back in the day, really nice, stone built into the side of the mountain. And I'm just gonna carry on and see what this boulder is saying. You can see they've built up a wall here with a little entrance through. This might have been to keep pigs in maybe when they were living here. This might have been a pig pen, but look at that. How cool is that? Massive boulder, and it's built right into the stone. Actually looks like someone might be living in here. I don't know if you can see that, but it goes back a long way. And there is a tent, sleeping bag. It's quite creepy actually. I definitely wasn't expecting to find a sleeping bag, a tent, and someone's belongings in that cave house. Hundreds of years ago, I'm pretty sure that would have been used as a pig pen. The walls all the way around, and the fact that it's not really livable for humans. Hopefully the person who is staying in there is okay.
Guess I'm here to waste my time. Washing my feet in the high tide.
I have just pulled over on the side of the road once again because how beautiful is this? I'm just gonna climb on this stone so I get a better perspective. But look at that. The cloud cover is low on the mountain tops. That is where we're going up there. It's moving so quickly. But this is a stunning vantage point. And I can definitely see some snow up there, so we should be in for a treat. I'm gonna jump back in the car because it's actually quite cold.
I know the sun won't go to bed yet, not till the moon tucks away the tide, and I'll wait for you while she's sleeping. In paradise.
I have just arrived to the top of the mountain and there is snow. I'm at the ski resort. You can see the chairlifts, they're not working today, so I guess there's still not enough snow yet, but you can see there's people sledging, having a good time, and the clouds are moving quickly. I don't know if you can see how quickly the clouds are moving behind me, but it's very fast. I had to wait a moment to get out the car because it was just a whiteout. You wouldn't have been able to see anything and I nearly slipped. It will be a miracle if I don't end up on the ground because it's so icy and slippy. There's like a thin layer of snow. The rest is ice at the moment. I am just at the top of the ski lift, and this is obviously where the ski slopes are. There's about 3 different slopes, I believe, and they're not very big, but it's Portugal. What do you expect? It's so amazing to have this on my doorstep. Look at that. It keeps clearing and you can see for absolutely miles, and then suddenly it's a whiteout again. I can't wait to bring my snowboard up here and get some time on the slopes. I can be snowboarding on the slopes in about half an hour from sitting in my living room on Miracle Mountain, and that is pretty cool. I'm going to end the video there. Hope you've enjoyed seeing this part of the mountain, and I'll catch you on the next video.